Across the nation tonight, there are 11 million unpaid caregivers for people living with dementia. 2/3 of the caregivers are women.
High fives?
Yeah.
This is Sierra's mother, Leslie, who has FTD and has lost her words.
I wake up and I forget that she's sick. I forget that she can't talk.
Mama, did you have a good weekend?
Emma says she is trying to give these caregivers the kind of roadmap she didn't have, a helping hand for the hard path ahead.
Nicole, I know Nicole.
These are heroes, the caregivers. This is the disease of our civilization.
Dr. Bruce Miller is a leading expert in frontotemporal dementia. He did not treat Bruce Willis, but he is grateful to Emma for shining a light on this little understood disease.
At our site in San Francisco, we are putting up a Emma Willis roadmap for caregivers. The minute I met her, I knew she would make a difference.
Do you think about, and maybe this isn't a fair question, what you'd most like to ask him?
Just how he's doing. If he's okay, if he feels okay. If there's anything that we could do to support him better, I would really love to know that. If he's scared, if he's ever worried, you know, I just like, I just would love to be able to just to have a conversation with him.
Can you finish the sentence, love is?
Love is grabbing a tissue. Love is beautiful. It's grand. It's unconditional.
I will try to fix you.
And we sure can feel it right there. We are joined now by Dr. Bruce Miller. He's a neurologist, director of the University of California, San Francisco's Dementia Center. Dr. Miller, we heard a little bit from you in the piece right there, talking about the challenges that caregivers face. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, so this is incredibly difficult for caregivers, and you know, as a consequence, caregivers with a loved one with frontotemporal dementia are much more likely to suffer depression, anxiety, suffer their own illnesses. One of the reasons is that this is regularly misdiagnosed. It's often considered a psychiatric problem. People don't realize that when there is a change in midlife and in behavior and personality, that this represents a change in the brain and very worrisome for a disorder of the frontal lobes. So the misdiagnosis and then the behaviors that we see with frontotemporal dementia, many people lose empathy, they develop addictive behaviors, they become apathetic, disengaged, their social brain shuts down, and this is probably the hardest thing that a caregiver can ever face.
So hard. Dr. Miller, for those of us who've watched family members dissolve into this fog, what's the difference between FTD and an Alzheimer's diagnosis?
Yes, they hit they're both degenerative, they're both progressive, they're both tend to occur as we get older, although FTD happens much earlier in life, sometimes 40s, 50s, 60s. Alzheimer's affects memory, so we are very aware when a loved one is forgetful, gets lost, doesn't know where their keys are. But with frontotemporal dementia, because it hits the front part of the brain, when it is more on the right side, we tend to see behavioral changes, disinhibition, antisocial behaviors, loss of empathy. When it starts on the left side, we tend to see more language changes. Importantly, and I think ultimately this is going to lead to therapies, there are different molecules associated with Alzheimer's disease. We're beginning to have therapies for the molecules in Alzheimer's disease, amyloid and tau, but the therapies for frontotemporal dementia, very hopeful, but just beginning.
You point
different
out
molecules.
You point out how hard it is to diagnose this. So is it preventable at all?
Yes. Well, I think we have really good data that the social determinants of health, hypertension, preventing this, exercise, being cognitively stimulated, even in someone who has a genetic form of frontotemporal dementia, these lifestyle interventions can stave off the onset of frontotemporal dementia. So not preventable, but certainly there are things that we can do in our own lifestyles that will make it less likely that we'll get this illness.
Thank you for sharing that information. The Unexpected Journey by Emma Heming Willis is available for pre-order now, debuts September 9th. And you can see more from Diane's special, Emma and Bruce Willis, The Unexpected Journey, that premieres tonight at 8 Eastern right here on ABC. It streams tomorrow on Disney Plus and Hulu.